Music's one of the few things that can gain access into your spirit without you giving it permission. So it's very important to understand what you're listening to and who you're allowing to influence your innermost being. When I started off in the music industry, my vision and my dream was the same as any other. I wanted the fame, the notoriety. I wanted to be signed to a major label. I wanted the money. I wanted to tour the globe, rock in front of thousands of fans, have people singing my song, cheering my name. You vision all of that. But as time and experience came through, I started to gain perspective, and my eyes were open to things that I never thought were real inside the entertainment and the music industry. That unless I had seen those things for myself, I would have never believed. I would have thought they were a conspiracy.
Stop this show! Stop this show! Stop this.
This is a live look at Houston here, that a grand jury has decided not to indict rapper Travis Scott in connection to those deaths at Astroworld.
Artists, producers, executives, A&Rs, people in the space. You see all kinds of things taking shape, whether it be sexual predators taking advantage of people, turning them into victims, whether it's occult rituals taking place, trafficking, a number of things, the drug addiction, the amount of depression and suicide, the emptiness that exists inside this entertainment space.
And turn to the sudden and shocking death of rap star Juice WRLD.
Even in his lyrics, he mused about his own mortality, referencing the long list of famous singers who died by the age of 27. He turned 21 just last week.
On one hand, you have these famous artists who are empty, who are broken, who are looking and searching for answers and for anyone to truly just be real with them. And on the other side, you have these aspiring artists, these people who are up and coming, whether in the secular or the Christian space, who are seeking out that fame, who are seeking out that notoriety, who are chasing this dream that doesn't even exist. Stuck in the middle is the consumer, the fans, who are receiving this music and this content. They're being fed manipulation, witchcraft. They think that they're not good enough. They have suicidal tendencies and thoughts. They're getting addicted to drugs and alcohol. They're giving away their virginity and going into all kinds of sexual craziness, confused about their gender and their identity and who they really are. All because of an influence agenda that's being handed down through the entertainment industry, through a music medium that's infiltrating the eyes and ears of those who are receiving it. And they're literally having a spell being cast upon them. And this is the truth behind the industry that most have no idea about. And it was once I gained that perspective that I sat back and had to ask myself, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world, but to lose a soul? In 3 music videos that The Weeknd had put out, the first one was a scene where he's inside of a bar performing in front of a isolated crowd, really small, intimate setting, and nothing's going well. He's performing on stage, nobody's really into it. It's bland, it's just dead. And all of a sudden he sees this gentleman sitting in the back that looks kind of morbid, different, weird. And this guy pulls out a lighter, lights it up, throws it at him. As soon as it hits him, boom, he lights up, spins, and does a turnaround, if you will. And that turnaround all of a sudden lights everything up. The lights come on, people are into it. He's singing, he's doing his thing. The second video is he's with this same figure. He pulls out a gun, boom, shoots this guy, hops into his car and takes off. And remember the car, because in the third video, in the hills, as cars crash, he's getting out of it. You can see him all messed up. And as he gets out and he pulls himself together and gets into this house, walks through these doors, and the devil is sitting right there, the same guy, with 2 women. And this sense of hopelessness sets in over him. that I signed myself away. I sold my soul, and now there's a price to pay. And you've seen countless other celebrities and artists who have come forward and said, you know what, I'm controlled, I'm not free. I remember a video that I saw from Lil Xan. He's down in a parking garage talking about this.
All this materialistic don't mean in the world. And when they won't let you do, I'm owned. I'm a slave. I'm a slave to my management. I'm a slave to everybody. I don't get control of my license. I don't get control of my bank account. I don't get control of I can't even drive that car. They put it in the basement so I couldn't take it.
Do you guys remember the whole Little Peep, the story where his management was giving him drugs and you know, and it just wasn't helping out and all that? Well, that happened to me on tour, and my manager's name, well, I don't even like to call him my manager anymore, Stat Quo. Remember that name, Stat Quo. Because when I was on tour, the world tours with Nicki and Juice and all that, and my manager was supplying me with the drugs. So if I couldn't perform because I was withdrawing back then, you know, he would call, make calls, send $5,000 out here, $5,000 out here, just to ship the drugs to wherever we're at in the world, Switzerland or anywhere in America. Because that was the time I almost died from the drugs. I was so skinny, unhealthy. I almost died on tour multiple times from him supplying me drugs. You know, the industry just sucks. They just want to keep you alive long enough to make their money, and if you die, even better for them. We have screenshots. My homies kept those screenshots because they knew that one day this was gonna happen. You know, and also in case if I died.
Most people think the pushing of the boundaries of music took place in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, but they forget about the 60s. And I think to truly understand where things took a shift is to really understand the background and the history of the birthplace. There's this little spot just east of Beverly Hills where the Mamas and Papas, Frank Zappa, Jim Morrison of the Doors all lived and engaged in various cults and cult behavior, rituals, satanic practices. Not just over-sexualizing things, but getting into the mind control, MK Ultra style. There were places right inside of this little area of Los Angeles where DARPA, the CIA, RAND, what we know these agencies to be today, and they pushed this agenda right inside of the hippie movement. And it's called Laurel Canyon. Jim Morrison's dad was actually a naval admiral who was responsible for the false flag event at the Gulf of Tonkin that incited the Vietnam War. They were using LSD, sex, music, and other substances to gain mind control and manipulate the youth into a worldwide rebellion that started from this place. And these are the roots, the satanic aspects of the music industry we see today. When people think of the 60s and 70s and the hippie era, they think of the Mamas and Papas, the Byrds. They think of the Doors and Jim Morrison, the Lizard King, right? The names that you would typically think of. But most people don't understand the true origins of the hippie movement. There was a guy by the name of Vito Palakas who was living in Laurel Canyon at the time. And it seemed like he emerged out of nowhere. The interesting thing about this guy is that he was already in his 50s, and he had this crew that used to hang out with him that he called the Freaks. And these were very young people. Even his wife, I think, was 20 to 30 years younger than him.
Left, right, left. Right, left, right.
His wife, Sue, aged 25, awaits their second child. Like all hippies, they attack the middle-aged values of their land of milk and money.
No! No, baby, are you out of your mind? Forget about it. I'm gonna find something that's gonna make me nice and rosy and zonk me out, and I'm gonna sit down on the floor someplace where it's not too cold, and I'm just gonna get wiped out and stay wiped out, baby, and nothing's gonna get through to me.
And this guy emerging out of nowhere, being as old as he was, and being the pulse or being the main component of the hippie movement was quite strange. What's interesting is by marriage, this guy was part of the Rockefeller family. So he already had deep ties into the high levels of society and was almost installed, is what most people say when they talk about Vito Palakas. And you got to remember, LA wasn't a music town at the time. It was for movies, TV shows, things of that nature. The music industry at the time was booming in Detroit, in New York, and Nashville. Those are the three main hubs. So here in Los Angeles, all of a sudden, this guy Vito Palakas comes on the scene and starts drawing all this young talent into Los Angeles. And all of a sudden, these people were just popping up and getting signed. There was this place in Laurel Canyon called Lookout Mountain.
Lookout Mountain Air Force Station, a photographic installation of the Aerospace Audiovisual Service.
So why was this place, Lookout Mountain, this military facility for film, placed right in the heart of Laurel Canyon, a residential community? It didn't make sense. It was supposed to be Air Force Department of Defense, but most people knew that this was being co-opted by the intelligence communities to carry out successive operations, things that went past MK Ultra, the mind control program, Operation Paperclip, which brought in all these Nazi scientists to conduct experiments, and even Midnight Climax that came down from San Francisco utilizing LSD. So here you have the perfect storm to combine a trio of very successful operations, guising it under a film studio in the heart of Hollywood so people wouldn't even give it a second look. Being able to combine motion picture, sound, which music we know is probably the most powerful messaging tool, capped off with the psychedelic LSD drug. And now you have a recipe that now you can tear down any useful tool in the effort of an emerging, truly grassroots movement. And this was the deadly end of an idealistic innocence of what that counterculture era was, known as the hippie movement. There was something truly spiritual about staying in Laurel Canyon. I can't describe it or put it in words. But what happened there as a birthplace of a rebellion and a movement in the area of culture, music, the arts, propaganda? Something happened here that has set the tone for every other generation after it with regards to the entertainment space. And staying right across the street from Lookout Mountain, this facility that was co-opted and used by our government, our intelligence communities, to take motion picture, to create these bands and this music culture with these people who were installed in it, and bring it all together with the means of psychedelics, LSD, which was created by our intelligence communities, our government. These three things became a means to speak out propaganda, to speak out and control the masses through psychological operations. And it's such a powerful thing to see. But it wasn't until I dove down deep and did my own research, investigating independently, that I was able to see this. And what broke my heart is that none of this will ever be put out in the mainstream media. And so people will continue living on in this fabrication, in this lie, in the matrix, or so to speak. until they decide to dive down, learn, become aware, and break free. But the question is, who's going to help them get there? Because it's not going to just happen by itself. And just as Yuri Bezmenov said in that 1984 interview as a KGB defector, the goal of psychological operations, or what's known as ideological subversion, is to get people to the point where even though you show them facts, proof, verifiable evidence to their face, they still won't believe you. And this is why the burden lies on us to wake up the masses, to let people know that in this world, you cannot put your trust in any man. And the only thing that will remain at the end of the day is Jesus Christ and the decision that you made to either accept or reject him.